We're going to transition the discussion to Liz Allenson. Liz is the transformation manager from Costa Express. Liz is going to take us through a multi-year journey that they've been on. It's really impressive. Liz, without further ado, I turn things to you.
Thanks very much, John. I'm really excited to be able to be here. So thank you. Thank you again. So I really just want to just touch upon at the very beginning in terms of what Costa Express is for our panelists out there. So as John's alluded to, we are absolutely, we're Costa Coffee. Costa Express is one of our Costa Coffee's propositions, essentially. It's coffee on the go, it's fresh beans, it's fresh milk, and we're delivering a quality Costa coffee consistent with a Costa coffee shop if you've been in one or you've seen one. So it's exactly the same or as consistent with a barista served Costa coffee. And in terms of our Costa Express machines, so these are individual machines that are at site level with our customers. So when we talk about, or when I talk about customers today, what I mean by customer is those sites, those customers that are looking after our Costa Express machine, not the consumer that's going to the machine and buying a coffee. Our customer experience and our customer support that I will talk you through today is about how do we support our sites, who are people that are looking after our Costa Express machines. So just to put a little bit of context around that for you. And in terms of the size of our UK, so again, I work with Costa Express within UK and Ireland. Within our estate, within UK and I, we have 11,000 machines. We've grown significantly over the last 10 years, going from around 700 machines to over 11,000, which is an unbelievable growth transition in itself. And the majority of our customers, our machines, are at forecourts or gas stations, grocery and convenience stores. So in terms of transformation, and again, I'll talk more as we move on in terms of the digital transformation and the visual transformation. But in terms of Costa Express and my role, relatively new, I've been in here 18 months as transformation manager. And as a business, we are journeying on that digital transformation path. And as John said, absolutely, the pandemic and COVID-19 has accelerated the way that we really harness that digital transformation. But actually, we've been on this journey for the last 18 months, 2 years, and Costa Express is massively innovative in terms of that digital. I mean, if you've seen any of our machines, you'll know what I mean. But in terms of internally and how we support our customers, we've been on this path, like I say, for about 18 months, 2 years, with stats such as only 16% of marketers feel that their organizations are delivering a customer experience that truly fulfill their brand promises is significant. And so it's essential that at Costa Express we embark on that digital transformation. And the biggest theme for growth in core markets is diving into those digital waters. And we've already touched on some of them as part of the survey that Michael's taken us through. But it's those digital waters where we harness those Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, other technologies. And actually by providing that digital transformation and support to our customers really creates that superior customer and consumer experience. And that's really key for me as transformation within Costa Express. How do I add value? How do we as a business add value to our network, but actually ultimately having a world-class customer experience? And so therefore, the three key priorities of transformation fall into three areas. We've got technology, digital site support, and world-class customer experience. And for us, TechSee fulfills all three of those areas. So if you'd like to move on to the next slide, John, please. So when we talk about our customer support, it falls within two areas. We've got our field service support. So we've got around circa 140 engineers out in the field, and they're out and about fixing and maintaining those Costa Express machines for our customers. We've also got our brand standards field coaches, we call them. So ultimately, these guys go out to visit our every single Costa Express machine, and they complete an audit. And this audit is around 3 areas. You've got quality, you've got health and safety, and you've got brand standards. So actually, what we're looking for is our customers are looking after our machines. They're cleaning them, they're stocking them, they're making sure that actually every coffee is to that quality of Costa. And so we've got that support within the field, and it's relatively big, just circa around 200. But we've also got the contact center customer support. And for me, this is the heart of our customer support, because you can see here that we have around, well, we've got 40 agents, but we have around 600 to 700 inbound calls per day. So we've got a lot of calls coming through. And actually, we could have some of our sites, our customers calling in once a week, essentially. And so our contact center agents are our touch point to our customers. And so that support for us as Costa Express is vital, that we get right and we really drive that experience to be superior. And so for us to be able to support 11,000 machines here today, and actually to then be able to support our business growth, which is actually to double the estate in the next 5 years, we really need to be able to leverage technology to reduce some of those calls coming in. And that's around a number of different areas. You know, let's be honest, we're not going to double our headcount when we double our estate. So actually, how do we really leverage that technology, as I've mentioned? And actually, a video platform enables Costa Express agents, the technical agents at the contact center, to troubleshoot issues without needing to send an engineer out to site, essentially. And that's by providing that immediate remote guidance through live video. Ultimately, the objective for every single one of those agents when a call comes in, so just to be really clear, out of those 700 calls, they get dispatched over into stock. So we've got some sites that are calling through to our contact center that just need new beans, consumables, cups, lids, etc. So they then get separated off. But actually, we've got 50%, so around 300, 400 calls come through to our helpline. And essentially, that's where the machine needs to be fixed. So there's an issue with the machine, it's not trading, we're losing sales, and we've got machine downtime. So actually, the objective of those agents receiving those calls is actually to solve that issue, to fix that issue over the phone in that instance, in that moment, without having to dispatch an engineer. So actually, by having that video platform, by having the live video, they're actually able to visibly see an issue. And actually, for me, and I'll go on to kind of what we've done over the last 18 months and now with TechC, is the ability to be able to see the issue is incredible versus having to have our sites, our customers verbally tell us over the phone what the problem is. And actually, by visibly seeing it, it ticks a number of boxes, and I'll go on to that in terms of call waiting, etc., and time on call and fixing the issue quicker. So in terms of this transformation journey, our first step was to look at our video platform, and that's our previous provider. So going back to the back end of last year. We launched a video platform in 2019 to really identify what benefits would come from being able to visually assist issues coming through to our contact center. And actually, by doing so, we could see the opportunities and potential of using that. However, it came with a number of challenges, and those being functionality, agent adoption, and customer adoption. And that's a really important part, the adoption piece, which again I'll talk on further later on. But we were then approached by TechC and found that actually the functionality and the use of the platform was a lot simpler. It was a lot cleaner for both the user, so the agent, and also for the end user, for our customer. If you'd like to move on to the next slide, John.
Yeah, just prior to transitioning, Liz, a quick question came in via the control panel. Thank you so much for your active participation. Please continue to submit questions.
Absolutely.
And the question is from Manuel Hellendorf. And the question is, I'm curious about how many of those calls are visual and video. So
yeah, absolutely.
100.
Yeah, so we're going to move on to some of those results for you, but essentially it's around 30% at this moment in time. But again, we'll talk about that adoption because that's really key in all of this. So when we looked at Texi, and actually, you know, we've gone with Texi in terms of the solution, what we really want to go from is, and left hand side is kind of that phone experience. So this is where I talked about where we're completely blind as agents, we're trying to fix an issue with the machine verbally. It creates call waitings, increases. It also increases the time on call, which then affects our availability and there's a high cost. And actually where we want to move to by using live video assistance is to the right. So this is where we want to increase that fixed SAS. So again, that solved at source, that fixed first time fix over the phone in the moment. We want to increase that because ultimately we want our machines to be trading 100% of the time or as quickly as possible. And then on the back of that, that really increases our customer satisfaction, because we know by being able to fix those issues and not having to send an engineer out for our sites to have to wait, or our customers have to wait for a day, 8 hours for an engineer to come out, we know that actually that increases their satisfaction and experience. And again, I've touched on reducing those engineer call outs, because the more calls we can fix using video call, the less engineer visits we need to send out. And I have touched on the machine downtime, because again, that's ultimately what we're aiming for. We want to increase sales, because when the machine's not trading, both parties, customers and us, can't sell. In terms of the peer-to-peer support, this kind of touches on again some of the survey results that came out from Michael in terms of who do the field service engineers, what do they do when they want to fix an issue? They call. But actually, I think there was 41% that call a tech helpline. We also have a tech helpline for that peer-to-peer support. So our engineers can use that tech support line to call in to get that support. And actually, by having video platform, the live video, they can actually talk through visually with their peers, and the tech helpline are usually ex-engineers as well, so really experienced within that. So if you'd like to go on to the next slide. Okay, so the results. So again, kind of goes back to our last question. But in terms of the results, we've had an incredible positive result over the last 3 months since launching Texi. Our Costa Express contact center has experienced an increase of video usage by 60% versus our previous platform, which is being driven by the ease of use for the agent and the customer of the Texi functionality. And as a result, solving those first time fix or solved at source, so fixing when that customer calls through using the video platform, we've seen a resolution of over 300% versus our previous provider. So again, you know, we can really very quickly see within a very short amount of time just how much potential Texi has for us as a business. And again, kind of increasing that customer satisfaction. And I'll touch upon some of the comments that we're getting back from our customers as part of the customer satisfaction. So kind of overall, just in that short amount of time, we've saved over £100,000 just in engineer call outs versus the previous provider, because we've been able to fix more using the video, the live video. Now, it still comes with some challenges, and I'll be really honest. So great question about, you know, how much are you using that video call, live video, sorry, on each of those calls. It's around 30% at the minute, and obviously we want that to be 100%. The adoption is a really key part to anyone that's either using visual support or who's looking at it. And it's really important, because actually it's on two elements. You've got the adoption by end user, so our customers at site level. Our customers are very different within technology wise, depending on which customer it is. So we've got some grocery customers that don't allow smartphones on the shop floor. So again, that comes with some challenges. But actually, by having the support from Texi, and we have bi-weekly calls with Sharon Reshef, which is part of the Texi team, an incredible amount of support, which helps us identify those opportunities of adoption where it's not being used, and actually how do we then overcome them. And some of the things we're working on is about actually how do our agents offer that video, live video conversation. So how do they launch it? How do they actually approach that conversation with our customers to explain the benefits to be able to use it? And then also we've got the adoption within our contact centre. So even our contact centre agents, and one of the big bits around the adoption here is around, we've got some long-standing guys that have worked with us for 4 or 5 years who know our machines inside and out. They know how to fix an issue with their eyes shut, or they think they do. So again, it all comes on perception of, you know, they're very highly skilled, absolutely. They've got that will to want to fix it, but they don't need the video, live video at all, because they can do it without it. But actually what it is, it's about just educating and engaging to say you absolutely probably could, but actually we believe and we've seen that we can do that quicker. So we can talk to more of our customers by activating the live video. And also, it also gives you the opportunity to identify that you are fixing the right issue. So we've got it. We've got experience where agents have launched a live video thinking it was one issue, and actually when they visibly see it, it was something completely different. So again, being able to share that experience, sharing those experiences with the team and the team managers to really start to, I guess, engage and talk around those experiences when they happen. The other bit is around, yes, you may also, you may know the issue, but actually if you were to use live video and we've seen it, it identifies other areas of opportunity. So when the live video is up and running, they're fixing an issue, they're moving around the machine, they can clearly identify maybe health and safety issues, for example, milk fridge, if it's looking a bit dirty. It's about how do they coach the site. And also on the other side of praising the sites and actually saying, you know, this machine is looking absolutely spotless. We can see that you're looking after our Costa Express machine. Thank you. And it's just improving that customer experience, not just by fixing that issue that customer is ringing through, but it could identify other opportunities. So the adoption piece is really important for us, and we will continue to work on that. But again, you can see from the initial results, actually, the adoption has been a lot higher than our previous provider. And then if you'd like to move on to the last slide, John. So as part of TECSI and the video assistance, at the end of each of the video calls, a push survey is sent to every single one of those customers. And actually it gives us that visibility of the customer satisfaction, which is a fantastic tool to have. And it really starts to emphasize kind of some of those great comments. I'm not going to read through them all, but you can see some of the fantastic reactions we have from our customers out in the field who have either been able to fix the issue, and we even get comments when they haven't, but actually it's sped up the conversation, and it's meant that it's identified the issue really quickly. Yes, it absolutely needs an engineer, and we'll send them out as soon as possible without them having to verbally talk step by step. So again, I think it's a great feature to be able to really start to benchmark and see where we are in terms of that customer satisfaction, and also identify any areas, any agents that maybe need additional coaching, if the comments are maybe a little less negative, which we haven't had at all. I think we've had 2 in 12 weeks, which is unbelievable, but they haven't left a message, so it's difficult to respond to that when they don't leave a message. So that's me, John. I'll hand you back over. I hope that's been helpful and given some insight into that visual assistant with TECSI.